Netflix's deliciously dark adaptation of the best-selling books A Series of Unfortunate Events is absolutely loaded with Easter eggs and references. Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, it's Jan here, and in this video I'm going to whip through some of my favourite Easter eggs, cameos and connections to TV shows, movies and Lemony Snicket's original books that I found in the TV series. Okay, quick warning, there are spoilers ahead, so if you want to avoid those, look away, but don't forget to come back here when you are ready. Before this show, actress Malina Weissman, who plays Violet Baudelaire, was best known for her role as a young Kara Zor-El in the TV show Supergirl, and there's a great Supergirl hat tip in part 1 of The Reptile Room. Yes, when Violet and her siblings sit down to eat with their guardian Dr. Monty Montgomery and Stefano, Violet asks, "Could you please pass the pot stickers?" which is a delicious reference to Supergirl's love of that particular food, which we've seen a number of times in the Supergirl TV series. If only Violet could have melted Count Olaf's face when he deliberately ate all the pot stickers, the way that Kara jokingly told her sister she'd do in Supergirl. Then the Baudelaire children wouldn't have had to deal with all those unfortunate events. During the tunnel scenes in the first episode, Lemony Snicket walks past a variety of signs, many of which are references to characters in the original books, some of whom we'll no doubt see in future seasons. For example, there's a sign for Julienne, which is a shout out to Geraldine Julienne, a reporter at the Daily Punctilio, where Eleanora Poe is the editor-in-chief. Speaking of which, although Julienne hasn't appeared in the TV series yet, Eleanora Poe does mention her star reporter who wrote a front-page feature about the Baudelaire mansion fire, and whose byline we can see on another article about the Baudelaire children. Another sign we see is for Remora, which is a reference to Mr. Remora, a teacher at the prep school where Violet, Klaus and Sunny find themselves at the end of season 1. And that's also where, in the book, The Austere Academy, the Baudelaires meet the very mean schoolgirl, Carmelita Spatz. As for the sign for WIDDERSHINS, that refers to Captain WIDDERSHINS, the stepfather of the hook-handed man, who also gets a sign in the tunnels featuring his name Fernald. There are also signs for characters who appear in later episodes of season 1, including Montgomery, the children's guardian, Anne Whistle, the surname of the Baudelaire's guardian, Aunt Josephine, Strauss, Count Olaf's neighbour, Justice Strauss, Snicket, a reference to writer-narrator Lemony or his siblings Jacques and Kit, and Quagmire, the surname of Kobe Smulders and Will Arnett's mother and father characters, whose children end up at the same school as the Baudelaires. Over the course of season 1 of the show, there are a number of nods to All the Wrong Questions, a collection of 4 books that serve as a prequel to the series of Unfortunate Events novels. In episode 3, Klaus asks Violet, "How did he find us?" when Count Olaf turns up disguised as Stefano at Uncle Monty's house, to which Violet replies, "That's the wrong question." And in episode 7, after the children discuss whether Count Olaf will find them at the mill, narrator Lemony Snicket says, "Violet was asking the wrong questions." Also in episode 2, when Violet and Klaus are looking for their missing sister, Sunny, the dastardly Count asks them, "When did you see her last?" which is actually the title of the second book in the All the Wrong Questions series. In real life, Lemony Snicket is actually the pen name for author Daniel Handler, and although actor Patrick Warburton plays the part of Snicket on screen, Handler does actually appear 3 times in the show as well. In episode 5, when Aunt Josephine is shopping at the market, Handler pops up selling fish heads at a street store. And in episode 6, as a storm's coming, he runs across the street yelling, "Save the fish heads!" Then in episode 7, he makes another appearance, this time interacting with Mr. Poe, who's desperate to find the Baudelaire children, who he doesn't realise have run away to the Lucky Smells lumber mill. Mr. Poe looks at the camera and cries, "It's a catastrophe, it's unprecedented, it's off book, it's unfortunate." Then he turns to Handler's fish head seller and says, "The Baudelaires are lost and unsupervised. Do you know what that means?" To which Handler replies, "Without supervision." This is an ingeniously meta moment, as in the original books, Mr. Poe knows exactly where the children are at this moment because he takes them to Poultryville himself, where the mill is, to meet their next guardian. So that part of the story in the TV series has quite literally gone off book. In part 2 of The Wide Window, after Count Olaf forces Josephine to write a will leaving the Baudelaire children in his care, she rushes into her library to try and figure out a means of escape. And when Olaf, who's disguised as Captain Sham at the time, notices that Josephine has shut the library doors behind her, he hobbles up the hallway after her saying, "Here's Shammy," which is an homage to Stanley Kubrick's movie The Shining and Jack Nicholson's famous line, "Here's Johnny," which he says as he breaks down the door to the bathroom where his character's wife is hiding. In 2004, the first 3 books in Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events were adapted into a movie starring Jim Carrey as Count Olaf. And like Netflix's version of the Baudelaire story, that movie featured the character of Justice Strauss, who is played by an actress called Catherine O'Hara, whose name should ring a bell if you've watched the closing credits of A Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix, as this time Catherine O'Hara also plays the scheming optometrist Dr. Georgina Orwell in the show, which adds another meta layer of humour to the scene where Dr. Orwell tells Klaus about an optometrist who changed her looks to assume a new identity in a faraway town. In the season finale, there's a lovely Easter egg to the books, as well as a tease for season 2, when our narrator Lemony Snicket explains hypnosis to us, saying that the Encyclopedia Hypnotica tells of a man who, upon hearing the word NERO, could suddenly play an instrument he'd never studied. Then the camera cuts to a woman playing a violin in a movie that Snicket's watching on TV. This is a nice nod to the character of Vice Principal NERO, who runs the boarding school where we see the Baudelaire children at the end of season 1. In the books, Vice Principal NERO is a nasty character and an awful violin player who forces his students to listen to his performances. His character's name and violin obsession were likely inspired by the Roman Emperor Nero, and towards the end of the 8th episode we also see the silhouette of a person playing the violin, again letting us know that we'll be seeing Vice Principal Nero in season 2. Of course, there are tons more Easter eggs and references in the show, but what are your favourites and what are you looking forward to seeing in season 2, and who would you like to see cast in some of the new roles? I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, do please like and share it, and subscribe for more of my Easter egg videos and amazing movie and TV secrets. Click or tap here for more videos you might like. Thanks for watching and see you next time, yippee-ki-yay movie lovers!